Chidimma Adetshina accepts invitation to participate in Miss Universe Nigeria. Former Miss South Africa hopeful Chidimma Adetshina has expected an invitation to participate in Miss Universe Nigeria. This comes after the 23-year-old was forced to withdraw from Miss South Africa amid a preliminary investigation by Home Affairs which cast doubt about her citizenship. Home Affairs found prima facie evidence that her mother had allegedly committed identity fraud 23 years ago. The 23-year-old mother of one withdrew from the Miss SA pageant, which was subsequently won by Mia le Roux. Adetshina was the target of Afrophobic backlash and over citizenship that she received from netizens. A lot of people felt that she is not a representation of South Africans in any way because her mother is of Mozambican descent while her father is Nigerian. In light of the recent online events, Miss Universe Nigeria released a statement last week inviting Adetshina to participate in their beauty pageant. In the statement, they said, "This is an opportunity to represent your father's native land on an international stage." Adetshina has now accepted the invitation to go participate in her father's native land since she released a video on Instagram confirming her participation. "I have received an invitation from the Silverbird Group, who are the organizers of the Miss Universe Nigeria pageant, to participate in the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024, and I said this with great excitement because I have decided to accept the invitation. I have decided to participate in the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024 beauty pageant. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to participating in Africa's most prestigious beauty pageant, Miss Universe Nigeria," she said. From tweets to petitions of having her removed from participating in Miss SA 2024 beauty pageant, Adetshina took to Instagram weeks later to announce her withdrawal from the Miss SA beauty pageant. She mentioned the safety of herself and family as one of the reasons of her withdrawal from Miss SA 2024 beauty pageant. On the other hand, Miss SA saga shouldn't caution Home Affairs against unblocking IDs. Human rights lawyers have called on the Department of Home Affairs (DHA) to expedite the proper digitalization of its records rather than handling with caution the unblocking of unlawfully blocked IDs. This comes amid the DHA's broadened investigation in the citizenship of former Miss South Africa finalist Chidimma Adetshina, which the department said had also highlighted the reason for its blocking certain duplicate IDs. DHA further said Adetshina's case had highlighted the urgent need for the digital modernization of Home Affairs applications, adjudication and verification processes to insulate the department against fraudulent interference. Attorney at Refugee Human Rights Organization's Scalabrini Center, James Chapman, said the movement towards proper digitalization of DHA records is not new and came up in last year's State of the Nation address. Digitalization should and must be prioritized and include digitalization of birth registrations records for all children born in South Africa. Moreover, going forward, all births should and must be registered digitally as opposed to issuing handwritten non-digitalized birth registrations to some and digitalized printed birth registration to others, which is the process currently. In terms of ID blocking, hundreds of thousands of South African ID holders who followed correct and lawful process to obtain their IDs had their IDs blocked, preventing these South Africans from being able to access any ID-dependent services or opportunities. Banking, access to education and employment were all compromised by ID blocking. Administratively, just process should and must be followed before blocking any ID, and such processes were not followed, resulting in approximately 1.8 million people being affected by ID blocking, said Chapman. While Adetshina's case was an isolated incident which dated back 24 years, it is not a basis on which to paint all South African nationals with the same brush of requiring an investigation into their legal identity, he said. Adetshina's case does not and should not caution Home Affairs against unblocking unlawfully blocked IDs, but should rather make it even more clear that all full and just processes that are in keeping with administrative law requirements must be followed, said Chapman. DHA confirmed they would provide a final update once the investigation was concluded and that it intended to press criminal charges against all implicated parties. Lawyers for Human Rights (LHR) said they noted with disappointment the dishonoring of the vision enshrined in the Constitution that every person living in South Africa should have their human rights protected and their dignity respected. LHR called for calm in what they described as a tragic travesty of justice in the treatment of Adetshina and her family. In our pursuit of justice, it is imperative that we avoid actions that perpetuate fear, discrimination, and violence. Voices of reason and compassion must prevail over those of division and hatred. This is a critical moment for us to stand together to uphold the principles of fairness and safeguard the rights and well-being of all women in South Africa. The rule of law is the cornerstone of our democracy, demanding compliance by all, including state officials. Public servants and elected officials must respect the rule of law and adhere to court orders to ensuring that human rights are protected for all, said LHR. Last week, DHS said that since it had received the request from the pageant organizers on August 5th to verify Adetshina's citizenship, it had conducted research, visits to hospitals, and site visits to verify information. He said prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Adetshina's mother. The department also broadens its investigations to identify and pursue any officials involved in the alleged fraudulent scheme and is obtaining legal advice. Meanwhile, Miss South Africa Mia le Roux opens up about her life, love, and badging the crown. Mia le Roux's victory marks a significant step forward in inclusivity and representation, inspiring countless others by breaking down barriers and challenging perceptions. As she embarked on her reign, Mia's story is one of resilience, determination, and the power of embracing one's unique identity. In this interview, we delve into her journey, the challenges she overcame, and her vision for the future as a role model for all South Africans. IOL said, "What made you decide to enter the world of beauty pageants and tell me about the journey?" Mia: I noted that there was a challenge in inclusivity. Women who were not previously included were entering, giving them the platform to make change in South Africa. I had always felt excluded and had to fight for my space. I took a chance in order to inspire and make a chance to pave the way for those who have previously been excluded. IOL: How difficult were your school years growing up in Oudtshoorn? Mia: I was in a mainstream school and overall it was hard as I felt alienated. It's not that the children were mean to me, but they didn't know how to relate to me and didn't give me a chance, so they avoided me. I was a lonely child, lonely and very shy. IOL. You have mentioned that you never felt you were good enough, but then you decided that you are enough. What made that change happen for you? Maya. There wasn't any special moment. It's just when you've been brought down so many times, as I had felt unworthy for so long, I decided that I have big dreams and that I had to fight for them. It's about my journey and what's best for me and my courage to fight for what I want. IOL. How difficult for you is it in society and social environments? Do people pick up cues, or do you have to explain that you have a hearing impairment? Maya. When I'm in a new environment and I don't know anyone, I have to use the voice and tell them to face me and only one person to speak at a time. Fortunately, I have very good friends and a wonderful boyfriend. They take on the role of being my guardian and are protective over me. IOL. Tell us about your boyfriend. Maya. My boyfriend is a wonderful, special person. He is dyslexic and has ADHD. He is an incredibly hard-working man with a strong work ethic. His neurodiversity makes him special and beautiful. He is extremely creative and patient and thinks outside the box. IOL. Your lip read. How difficult it is when you are surrounded by people who are speaking different languages, which you will experience when you represent us as Miss Universe. Maya. I don't think it will be more difficult to communicate as many people speak different languages. The challenge will be to have someone next to me to repeat what is being said, as they don't usually allow for interpreters, but we will address that with the Miss Universe organizers when the time comes. IOL. Will you take an interpreter with you when you travel internationally? Maya. Yes, we are discussing that, but we have not made any plans as yet, as I'm only 3 days into the reign as Miss South Africa. IOL. You are now in an immensely powerful position to educate South Africans on interacting better with hearing challenges. You have said, my advocacy for my year of reign is inclusivity. I want to create a sense of belonging for everyone who felt excluded. Tell us what your plans are for the next year, and are there any particular charities you would like to champion? Maya. I would like to see captions on news bulletins to have access to know what is happening and to empower people who are deaf. I'm starting to discuss workshops in schools with principals to teach people how to be inclusive at schools and CEOs about different types of exclusion. It's going to be a project for life, and becoming Miss South Africa is setting the foundation for me. I'm not supporting one particular charity, but would like to work with many, focusing on rural areas. As I'm from Outstream, I want to start there, in my hometown. IOL. Soon you will be driving a Mercedes-Benz GLC coupe and residing in luxurious apartments at Brookfield at Royal in Kensington. How do you feel about that? Maya. It's a lot to absorb. I'm soaking it in and processing it, and I'm so grateful to be able to be living the life of Miss South Africa. And that's it from INJIBS Crime. Stay tuned to our ASA criminals and correctional updates.